Hi, my name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Right now we are at Snake River Overlook in Grand Teton National Park. Snake River Overlook is probably one of the most popular and most photographed locations in all of America. As you can see behind me here, the sky's a little bit blown out because otherwise I'd turn into this black blob, and you know, how excited would that be? I'd be like Darth Vader speaking and you couldn't see my face. So instead I set the camera so you can actually see me. I'll do another exposure for the background and you can see the river behind me here and the mountains and such. And you can see just off the top, even though it's not a great exposure, just how spectacularly beautiful this location is. I'm gonna walk around here a little bit on the walkway and show you. I've got this rock wall as a barrier, and there's actually, I'll walk down and show there's a famous photograph by Ansel Adams, the Ansel Adams, that he made at the Snake River Overlook location back maybe in the 40s, we'll find out. And that was one of his most famous photographs. There was a storm brewing over the Tetons and clouds are swirling around, and he took the shot at, I think it was a little bit over there. One thing is, when you look at that shot and you think, dang, I want to have that photograph, you can't anymore. Either one of two things has happened. Somebody told me that over time the river has shifted, which it probably has, and then the trees at the time that he photographed it are actually pretty short, and maybe there's a fire, who knows, and they've grown up since. So that specific angle that Ansel Adams used is not arguably possible to photograph. So in fact, instead of me blabbing about this location and that photograph, oops, here we go. Why don't we go over and actually show you here. Let me see, one of the things is the meandering snake. Let me show you here. The Park Service gives a good explanation, geez, I'm a terrible camera person today, about how the Snake River works. The Snake River tends to create things like at Oxbow Bend. It creates these little bends in the river, and as they curve away and the river actually shifts over time, parts of the river will pinch off and cut through. It's pretty fascinating. But up here you'll notice bald eagles. That's right. You can actually see bald eagles at this location. Now that said, I've heard of other people seeing them, but I have ever not actually seen them. I've seen them on the river, so that's actually pretty cool. So you can actually see the bald eagles on the river, but up here it's hard to tell. One of the things about, let me fix this, sorry. That way the camera's not so bouncy. One of the things about bald eagle nests is they're huge. They can weigh up to a ton, and they're made out of sticks. Obviously, they're not going to make them out of grass because bald eagle is huge. But when you see a bald eagle nest, it looks like something went wrong with the tree. Like somebody piled a bunch of garbage into the tree and made this nest, and sure enough, that's actually what a bald eagle nest is it's just this huge pile of thing. And I remember one guide, he told me that the bald eagle always gets the sticks with a little bit of crook in it. I don't know if that's true. I'm not a wildlife biologist. I don't know any of that. So they really can't argue it. Here we go. So here's the famous picture that Ansel Adams took in 1940, 1942, I was right. Yay, for once. So here we go. Here is the photograph that Ansel Adams took right around this location somewhere, and you can see the river snaking through and the Tetons in the back and the stormy action, and Ansel Adams actually up on his I don't know if it's a Woody or some such thing, taking his photograph, and you'll notice the ridiculously huge camera. That is why Ansel Adams' photographs look so good, is because he used that 8x10 camera with the f/64. I mean, there's one photographer in town, he shoots black and white, and he used to use his 8x10 camera. I don't think he uses it much anymore, David Brookover, but you know, this is why he was so great. But also back then, no digital photographs, so doing photography is a big deal. So I'll tilt this up here. Let me raise the camera So just tolerate the shaky camera for a minute. You'll get over it. Don't worry. Okay, so we see this location. Tripod's tilted. Oh, brother. Okay, right? Here we go. We're going to tilt up. And you'll look. And you'll say, what the heck? I got ripped off. Yeah, that's right. See these trees right here? You cannot see the river in this area at all. And in fact, the trees block this area of the river. So, dang, I wanted to get that exact photograph of Ansel Adams. Well, why do you want to get Ansel Adams' photograph? Why don't you get your photograph? Yeah, you can't see the Snake River completely cutting around anymore, but so what? Make your own. Now, that's one thing to be mindful too, is the temptation immediately comes into, hey, why don't I get a drone and fly it up? People, drones are illegal in national parks. You cannot use a drone to fly here. If you're flying a drone and the park ranger shows up, you are going to have a serious problem. They're not going to shoot you. They're not going to arrest you, but they're going to probably fine you and they could take your drone away. So even, oh, that's my $5,000 drone. Park your regulations are park your regulations. It really depends on your attitude. But that said, just don't fly your drone here. Plus, it really takes away from other people's experience. But there is a trick. You can use a painter's pole or a tripod or something to get your camera way up in the air. Now you might think, Aaron, let me see, where am I? Okay, so look at these trees here. You look at these trees here and you think, hello, my tripod's not gonna get way the heck up there. You can actually buy this 20-foot carbon fiber pole that you can mount your camera up to and put a remote release and put that thing way up in the air, and you might actually get above the trees to photograph the river. However, the river now cuts around so much that even if you're above the trees, I'm not exactly sure if that's possible. So what we're going to do, instead of talking, is go show you. There's one other overlook over here. So I will come probably to where, I don't know exactly where Ansel Adam stood, but okay. I'm going to flip my LCD down so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to put the camera up really, really high. What do you think? Can you see the Ansel Adam shot? No. And the tripod is, I don't know, it's about 11 feet above the ground. Obviously, that's not going to work. So, will you be able to get a 20-foot painter's pole, or not a painter's pole, but a 20-foot camera booster and put it up above those trees? Probably not. You could, I don't know if this is against the rules, but you could go down this trail a bit, and I've wondered, whoa! Hey, check that out. Tripod loosened, sorry! You could actually go down here, down the trail a bit, but as soon as you get down too far low, then you get really behind the trees and it's a total loser. Work with me, people here. I'm trying to help you get the Ansel Adams photograph, and you're seeing that it's just not working. So let's walk over to this other sign and see what it says about more famous overlooks and photography and sort of things. Oh, hey, check it out! Thomas Moran. Have you ever heard, I'm kind of underexposed. Here we go. Hey, check it out. Have you ever heard of Thomas Moran? He's a very famous painter. He's one of the painters that went he was from the east, sorry. He went west and he painted all these famous locations like the Tetons, and then in Green River where John Wesley Powell, I've got a video about John Wesley Powell, and in Green River is where Thomas Moran did some of his famous Western paintings. And the Tetons are one of the locations, I believe, yeah, that Thomas Moran, because it says it right here, sorry I'm reading, that Thomas Moran actually painted. So let me show you this here, because this is really cool. So if you really want to learn about a very famous American artist, he's no Da Vinci, he's no Michelangelo, but maybe he's America's Michelangelo. So check this out. So Thomas Moran, let's see, yeah, Waterfield Sketches in 1879. Where am I here? 1879, check that out. I did that a long time ago. You couldn't fly into here. You couldn't drive into here. You had to ride a horse and a wagon here. Woo. 1879. And then later, after he made the watercolors, he went back home and made some oil paintings, because making oil paintings out here is no bueno, that's for sure. And you can see him in 1871, and that's the master Thomas Moran. He's got a bunch of fish, looks like dinner. Yes! I really want fish for dinner. And then you can see the Teton Range from the west. And it's funny because I look at this painting and I actually have difficulty identifying which peak I'm in. I presume this is Grand Teton, and that might, or maybe that's Tiwanaut, and that's definitely not the Grand. I'm not exactly sure. Because this particular spot, I don't know where it is. I know, who is it? Oh, I think Brad Boner of the Jackson Hole Daily, he did a photographic series about another photographer. I think it was Ansel Adams and some other guy, and you have to look it up. Anyway, he ran around and did photographs of all these famous locations and tried to recreate. So that was actually pretty cool. So both Thomas Moran, a la famous American painter, ooh, in the dark again. I'm struggling here. All right, oh, we'll look at the Tetons in a minute, just so you can see me, so I'm not this black blob. But yeah, Thomas Moran and Ansel Adam, super famous American artists who came to Yellowstone, came to the Tetons, and really brought this experience back to people in the East, where people in the East like, that doesn't exist, that's bogus, there could be nothing that beautiful. People in the East, yes, it's that beautiful here, but don't come and live here because the prices are too high. You're ruining the place. So let me take you over here, and I'll get up around, I'll raise myself up, and we'll see if we can get up a little bit higher and try and get you another view. One moment, please. Here. While I'm fiddling around, why don't you enjoy the view? Oh, wait, here we go. Let's get the camera exposure better. Yeah, there you go. Now, obviously, this is a very boring sunset because there are no clouds. So if there are no clouds, chances are the sunset is going to be a total bust. And even though it's beautiful and the mountains are here, if you're expecting that incredible beach-like sunset in your smoggy city, ain't gonna happen. So now we're gonna put the camera 15, 20 feet above the ground. There you go, that's pretty much it. Whoa, hang on. This auto exposure thing's kinda cruddy. So there you go. That is your view near where Ansel Adams shot his famous photographs, where Thomas Moran made his incredibly famous paintings. Let's see, will I stay exposed? Hey, cool. So, I mean, it's just insanely beautiful. An interesting story here. Be careful about walking away, because on this stone wall, let me show you the stone wall here. Back in about 1986, I was a certain young age and not totally thoughtful about what I was doing, and I had my dad's binoculars. I was looking at stuff, and I got distracted for a moment. I set those binoculars down on that stone wall, went back to meet my parents and my brother, and then we hopped in and drove away. Of course, Dad asks, hey, where are the binoculars? Yeah. We drove back, looked for them. Of course they were gone. Dang. So yeah, that actually still traumatizes me to this day. So anytime I walk away, especially here, I always look to make sure, sorry, I'm looking at the squirrels running around here. Just be mindful about this wall. For some reason, a lot of people, I've found lens caps, and I don't know if I found a camera once, but I know I found like a camera pouch. It's so easy to set stuff on this wall and then leave it. So do be mindful about that. Perfect. So now we will close this video with the Tetons in the background. Yeah, let's see. There we go. Cool. Perfect. So this is the Snake River overlook. If you want to make a spectacular photograph, this is the place to go. There's not much else to go in here. Tour buses show up, people go click, click, click. It's kind of like the Grand Canyon view. So funny, laugh. You need to laugh, come on. Seriously, laugh, folks. Okay, anyway, Grand Teton National Park, it's all about this mountain range, and it's so funny. When you're flying into this area, tend to sit on the right-hand side of the plane because the air traffic, unless the weather's changed, normally flies from north to south. So if you're on the right-hand side of the plane, you'll be flying along, you look, you see some hills, and every time I'm on a flight, I always hear somebody on the right-hand side of the plane, they look over, holy beep, beep, beep. Oh, yeah. Because it literally looks like you're flying in and the mountains are right in your face. I mean, like, in your face. And so you see all that, and I mean, it's just an incredible experience. And you land in your plane, the pilot taxis around, you get out of the plane, and it takes forever to get off because as soon as people walk out the plane, because there are no jetways here, so if it's minus 30 and storming, you get to walk out in that cold right out of the jet. And people walk out and they stop on that ramp and chick, 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 like, dude, move it. So just please, when you're getting off the plane, keep walking. But anyway, just a local secret. Sit on the right-hand side of the plane, good probability of seeing that thing from a couple thousand feet up. Totally awesome. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Thank you for watching this World Beyond experience of the Snake River overlook, the experience of the world beyond your doorstep, and the world beyond the city limits. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.